about it, plenty to do. So get the gossip, get the scoop, and tune right into the editorial to keep you in the loop. It's the Eddytorial, a Wichita by EB podcast.
Welcome to another edition of the Eddytorial, a Wichita by EB podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a major event getting ready to hit Wichita for the first time. My guests today are Rudy Love Jr., Adam, and Jessie Hartke. How are you guys doing?
Doing
great.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
And today, we're going to be talking Elsewhere Fest and Conference. Before we get into that, do you guys want to do quick little introductions of who you are?
Sure. Go for it, Rudy.
I am Rudy. I am the board member of Midtopia, and I'm in a group called Rudy Love and the Encore, and a group called Two Lot, and a couple other groups, but I forget sometimes which ones I'm in.
Are you going to be joining any other ones soon? You're going to create more bands?
Yeah, there's gonna be for sure. I'm gonna start a boy band.
I've always wanted to be in a boy band.
Let's go.
So, okay.
Let's go. Okay. All
You've
right.
got choreography
Yeah.
down
Official.
now.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a name
Okay.
in a few minutes.
That polka band, too, you were talking about.
Yeah, aggressive polka.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, me and Willie.
Punk rock polka.
Punk rock. Yeah. And that's my spiel.
All right. Jessie.
I am Jessie Hartke. I am president of Midtopia. I do my best to help propel artists and music workers to find sustainable paths in their careers.
Awesome.
Adam Hartke, I am a board member of Midtopia as well. Independent music advocate, and do a lot of what Jessie also does. And
We're everything partners.
Yeah, we do.
You guys are all some heavy hitters in the local music scene, pretty much. You guys may not want to give yourself credit for that, but I think people see
Yeah.
your names everywhere.
I'll
We've
give them credit.
Yeah.
Y'all are heavy hitters for sure.
We've done a few things over the years. Yeah, we met about 15 years ago. Within a few weeks of meeting, we started promoting shows together. We've owned venues together. We've done lobbying efforts on the federal level together. We do whatever the world needs us to do.
How long you guys been in the scene for?
Oh, man. I mean, I was doing and part of the scene and doing little house parties with music. And I guess they're called house shows now. But at that point, they were called parties. Since the mid to early 90s, and just, everything in between.
Yeah.
Everything from house parties to, big festivals. And
Yeah.
So speaking of festivals, so Midtopia is getting ready to present Elsewhere Fest. Who wants to talk about that and what that is?
Elsewhere Fest and Conference is going to have its inaugural event this year on June 21st and 22nd. We are a genre-agnostic festival where you're trying to just embrace folks who have aligned visions to come perform and just give this gift to our community of music and education through the conference element. We're going to have spectacular visual art elements. We are working with a number of social change partners to help build the awareness in our community to see what all organizations are available to them to help make their lives better.
And this is like totally something new to Wichita, something they've never seen. Yeah.
Completely new.
And what brought up the idea of Elsewhere Fest? Like how that starts?
I mean, we've always looked at Wichita and really a lot of markets in the region, and seen a massive opportunity to do something different. And we've done things like this in the past with like LIV Fest and a lot of what we did with First Friday and other things, and just our overall booking practices as a whole for the venues that we've done throughout the years has always focused on bringing new original music to the community and highlighting new original music within the community. And so that's really at its core what Elsewhere Fest is. And the other element of it, the social change, is we've always had the vision of creating community through music, right? And letting music be the thing that tears down all of the barriers between us and unites us, even if momentarily, and brings us all together and gives us that sense of community and that sense of being together and having one shared experience that is positive. And so that's really kind of the foundational elements of Elsewhere. And that's a vision that has resonated with a lot of people that we've partnered with for Elsewhere Fest. And it's a shared vision, and it's really awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, we've always built our events to fill the space that historically we've been told a church would fill, a place for people to go and connect with others across various socioeconomic confines, as Adam said, to find their shared humanity. And we do that through the vehicle of music. And we are just really incredibly excited to be able to present this gift to the community that hopefully can achieve that as well. And just doing it on a level that we previously have not had access to.
And this event takes place June 21st and 22nd.
Yeah, June 21st and 22nd.
And multiple venues?
Correct. Yep. Throughout the day from about 11 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, we'll have a conference element that's very much geared towards providing knowledge towards artists and industry workers. Our keynote speaker will be Killer Mike, who's being interviewed by Rudy. So the educational element is happening throughout the day. And then in the evening, starting at 5 p.m., we have music starting at a multitude of venues along the St. Francis corridor. Both of the wave stages will be activated. We have our Where Else stage located on Emporia Street. Norton's Brewery will be in use, as will Barleycorns, and we're really excited to be able to activate NASCAR Park as a free to the public stage. We're bringing in some amazing acts on that stage. Adam, you want to talk about those acts?
Yeah, sure. On the NASCAR stage specifically, Blue to Tiger will be headlining, Pup will be headlining, but we also have awesome acts like King Youngblood, Thick, The Motet, one of a local band, Social Cinema, who is amazing, is playing. It's good. I mean, there's a various lineups, various amazing artists that are playing that stage, and it'll all be free to the public. Those schedules actually will be released tomorrow, which is June 7th. I don't know when this will air.
Probably
So
next week.
So at this point,
the schedule's
if
out
you're
there.
listening,
Schedule's out.
Check it out
right now.
Yeah, it's so
and
awesome.
that'll be available both on our website, and we also have an app that's available for download that details our schedule.
And
Yep.
the website is elsewherefest.com.
Correct.
Okay, so kind of going back to the conference to start off with, because you think that's the first event.
Correct.
So what kind of like educational classes or things are going on then, you said?
We are highlighting a multitude of areas, such as, so the keynote speech with Killer Mike and Rudy is going to be talking about freedom of expression in music. We have another element on how to book your first tour, how to go out on your first tour. There's another panel highlighting how to maintain mental health while in the music industry.
The overall theme of the conference is really exploration of new ideas within the industry. The industry is really challenged right now to continue, especially at the independent level and the smaller level, both artists, venues, music workers, everybody. So a lot of what these discussions will be is focused on sharing knowledge and understanding the current state of the industry, but also diving into ideas on different paths that we can take within it.
Yeah, we're just trying to help remove barriers for artists.
So it's basically like a chance to elevate independent artists and give them hopefully a platform to like rise up and
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Platform,
And that's everything Metopia does.
Mm-hmm.
freedom of freely giving information is something that I think that we all, we came up together in this scene, and we craved the information that we were deprived of because we didn't have the access to it. And once we found places to gain that knowledge, we found gatekeepers, people who would hold that knowledge, and it's for a tit for tat, I guess, exchange that had to happen where we felt that was unjust, and we would never want to put anyone through that. So we decided that Metopia would be a source of information for people like us who just wanted to learn. So the conference part of it is intentional for artists to be able to go and learn and get the good stuff that they wouldn't otherwise get. So.
That's interesting because I think that gatekeeping concept spans across like almost all industries.
Yeah.
Like people are always trying to gatekeep the information to keep themselves up higher and not build others up.
Yeah.
So it's really cool what you guys are doing there.
It allows people to exploit people, right?
Yeah.
So if you have knowledge and somebody else doesn't have it, you can use that knowledge to gain typically financial gain or control over whatever that other person is doing, right? And it's a very tactical way that, especially in the music industry specifically, but I think it's similar in many industries, people retain control over like intellectual property and, just they take away rights and exploit people, right? Artists, music workers, everybody, and so that knowledge always comes with stipulations, and that knowledge is rarely shared. It's usually retained by a person, and that's not shared with the person that they're providing the service to, because if they did share that, then they would be out of a job. But
they don't see it's actually counterintuitive,
right?
Because if you lift everyone up, that elevates whatever industry, whatever genre of music, whatever art form, empowering people creates, the beauty. I think that I forget what it was called, Republic of Science. If you put a lot of different people with a lot of different thoughts coming together and sharing that information, then you get the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it creates that resiliency, because if everybody has a shared knowledge and is contributing ideas to what could make that better, then you're creating a more resilient system and a more resilient industry. And that's one of the big reasons why the music industry is in such shambles right now, is because that has historically not happened. And I think with everything that we're doing with Midtopia, the only stipulation to gain that knowledge is that you actually have to show up and you have to be a part of it and you have to contribute something back. And that's not money. That's not giving up rights. That's building the community and contributing positive ideas to help grow it.
Yeah, we look for folks who have a contribution-based mindset, who are willing to self-actualize,
And to work.
Yeah, the folks who are willing to get off the couch.
Put a little sweat equity.
Yeah, as Adam calls it, farmer mindset. Let's go again. Just get in your farmer mindset. Get
Hustler
stuff done.
mindset, farmer mindset. You gotta get out.
Those of you who didn't grow up on a farm and don't know anything about farming, don't worry. We're not going to have you milk any cows.
No.
We just...
So going on to the music side.
Get up before sunrise, though, is probably the thing you might have to do. Yeah. Or at least before noon.
Yeah, or go to sleep as the sun's coming up and wake up early enough to make a podcast.
Right.
Yeah. Or just don't sleep at all.
Again,
that also
sleep.
works.
You gotta show up.
Yeah. You gotta show up.
You gotta show up.
That's it, man.
So on the music side, I'm looking through the music. You said it's very music agnostic.
Yep.
One thing I've noticed is just looking at the list of acts. You have a lot of local and some really big major national acts. There's no country on there. Is that intentional because Wichita gets a lot of country in general?
Yeah, that was our thought. There's always a wealth of country offerings in our town. We didn't need to fill that void. We were looking for folks that might not feel that they have options, in the genre of music that they prefer. And so there is a large electronica fan base in Wichita. There is a large hip hop fan base in Wichita, but we don't often get those shows.
So what genres would you say people could find at Elsewhere Fest?
There's hip hop, there's EDM, there's experimental, there's punk, there's rock, alternative, there's go-go, DC go-go music. There's a wide range, wide range of music, and it's really incredible. What we looked at when curating it is like just finding incredible artists that are incredibly talented in many ways. But it's really another point of the curation of the music of Elsewhere is to give people a new experience that they don't have access to frequently. And then that also helps drive innovation and drive change, because it's a little bit stagnant sometimes in this region with offerings, right? And it's stagnant at that level, right? That bigger level. When you get down to the smaller level, the granular stuff, the small clubs and DIY shows and whatever, like there's a lot of brilliant, really interesting stuff happening, but that stuff hardly ever bubbles to the top, right? And so this is a way to highlight those very interesting, different perspectives from the top and the bottom and everywhere in between.
And we were intentional to book artists that haven't played Wichita before, that you wouldn't even expect to play Wichita, right? Like, I never expected to be able to bring Vince Staples to Wichita, but we are very lucky that we get to offer this to the community.
My hidden agenda personally is to, the reason why I feel strongly about this festival is we have an opportunity to begin to slowly break down the barriers that move, people to, this genre or that genre. I really feel like there shouldn't be classifications because, Adam and I have spoken about this a lot, is that, it tends to be sort of a inherently racist system of like classifying music when, throughout history you can see times where country blending into rock, blending into soul, blending into hip-hop, blending into, all these different elements, they feed off of each other. And we're at a place where there's nothing new that you can create in music. There's no new chord progression. There's just your expression of that and how the influences that you draw upon in order to create something. So the only thing that you can do to be innovative in music in that space is to take this outlandish influence that you had with this one, put it together. And I think that a festival like Elsewhere is the type of place where if I walk to this stage as a kid and I see this and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And then I walk next door and see this other thing and I think, and then in 10 years, I put those things together and I'm playing it elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the dream is it's sort of like people, because genres are, they tend to be, you classify what you like. Okay, I like EDM, and I'm in this EDM thing. So you have this community around you that's EDM, but then there's a rock community, and to see those two communities start to slowly just come together and share is really something that I think needs to happen in order for us to progress as a, I'm getting a little bit on my soapbox, but I think city of Wichita could benefit from that because, we've done that on a smaller scale. Like Adam said, for years, you have shows that are, multi-genre shows, and people don't really see it as oh man, what are they doing? They got a death metal group with a funk group. That doesn't make any sense, but for us, it always has because we just like music.
Yeah, we used to do genre smasher shows. Remember, we had a whole series of shows that was called Genre Smashers, and we would put crazy different genres together. Genres are just another way to divide people, and like the Duke Ellington saying that I love so much is like the people he really liked. He always said were beyond categorization. They were beyond being labeled in one certain category, and really that's what music is. You can't put music in a little bubble and say, well, this is that, and once you do, then you're dividing people and you're saying, well, it's only this type of person and this demographic that's going to like it and blah, blah, blah. And then that sets into the public's mindset of like, oh, well, I'm a rock fan, so like hip hop's stupid. Like, why is Jay-Z in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's bullshit. But that's just racism. And it's and those but that gets so ingrained into a culture. It's just mind-boggling how silly it is because that's not what music has ever been about.
The genre thing, because I put together this like live music calendar, and one of the biggest feedbacks I get is, "Hey, can you put down like what genre they are, like what kind of music they play?" And so I went down that rabbit hole. So I started reaching out to those musicians, and I'm like, I'm thinking about categorizing this all out, and then they give me this feedback. They go, we span across this genre, this, and that. And other people are like, we're fearful because if we say we are a folk band, people who don't like folk music won't come.
Mhm.
So that caused a whole conversation I was having with people. I was like, you know what? Screw it.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it. And if people want to see the musician, they can do the research. They can go check out their Facebook page,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
whatever, and just find out
Yeah.
if they are.
Man, that is admirable of you.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
we all here, I think, would say thank you for
Yeah.
making that
Yeah.
calendar.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
We know how
It sucks.
intense. Yeah,
It
I was
sucks.
like, we did that.
Flat out
It
sucks.
sucks.
The-
So thank you.
Yeah.
Jason Diltz, who was just here. I
Yeah.
mean, that was what we did. We did Rock ICT, and it was it was a calendar of events, basically at its core, and
Yeah.
this whole social media thing that we built. But yeah, we manually entered all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel
It's-
the pain. We would literally
Massive pain
spend
in the ass.
hours and hours
I'm
a
doing it
week.
for I think a year and a half now. I might
Yeah.
stop at 3 or 2. I don't know.
Oh man.
It's so needed though. It's
Yeah.
so
It
vital
is.
because people need to know what the hell's going on.
There are nights we'll have a date night. We're like, let's go see who's playing because we want to go see some live
Mhm.
music.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just go through the calendar and we have that there. And I did it selfishly for the most part, just to see for
Yeah.
myself. But now
Right.
I see the value of it, and
Yeah.
I know it's helped out a lot of musicians, and I've heard some good feedback. So
Definitely helped
Yeah.
me out, so I
Yeah.
really
I
appreciate
appreciate that. No, I appreciate you. So
it. Man, likewise.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
so the the tickets, people can purchase a ticket. Is it like an all inclusive where they just buy one ticket and then go to all the shows?
Yep.
Is it all
Mhm.
ages? Is it?
Yep.
Yep.
Barleycorns is 18 plus. All other spaces are all ages.
Okay.
Yep. Tickets start at, well, the conference ticket is $25. A 1-day pass for general admission is $59. 2-day pass is
$99.
$99. 1-day VIP is $119. 2-day is $199. 2-day VIP is $199. So we're drastically lower
Yeah.
than other festivals regionally, and even more so if you look on a national
I
level.
mean, you look at any festival in general. I mean, I'm looking at the number of acts, the sheer number of musicians coming. I mean, how do you know off the top of your head how many per day?
About 40 a day, approximately. Yeah.
I mean, you multiply that out.
Right.
You can't get anything else cheaper.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking like bigger names, like Vince Staples or Steve Aoki. Like, you cannot see him.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
were to come here by himself, it'd be well over,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
100, 200.
we're only able to offer these prices because we are a nonprofit. This festival is not being put on to drive profit. If anybody were to look at the P&L, they would not understand financially why we're doing this. But we're not doing this for a financial gain. We're doing this to give a gift to our community,
Yeah.
to, help build culture for the folks who have stuck with Wichita, right? We all know the brain drain issue that we
Yeah.
experience in this community. We want to be able to give back and be like, hey, thank you so much for staying here. Let's continue to build a community together. Let's continue to contribute together, and just it's a gift that we're
Yeah. and
incredibly glad we can give.
In no way, I don't think is it the intention to act as if this is something that is creating a culture in Wichita. This is literally just something to highlight the culture that's existed here for decades and decades, and also to give thanks to that and to honor that and be like, this is to honor the culture that already exists here. And so it's the music, it's the visual arts, and we're gonna have crazy visual arts as part of this. It's the just overall sense of community. It's a conference of hey, knowledge has not been granted to our community in this fashion before, and so there's an ability to go and attend a conference and actually gain insight and have one-on-one meetings with people that actually have knowledge that you could benefit from and progress your life with. And so it's really to when Jessie says give back, it's to give back to all those people who have put in the work for so long and have hit their head on the ceiling over and over again, but stuck it out and not been like, I'm moving to Austin, or I'm moving to Nashville, or I'm moving to New York or LA or whatever. And so that's what I'm most excited about this is it's finally an opportunity where people can.
And that we're able to highlight, acts and panelists from, I think we're also used to people from outside markets telling us what to do. And we do. We have a lot of artists and panelists coming in from across the country, but we're also able to put local acts on the bill. We're able to put local industry folks, on the panels, local artists on those panels. Gooding, a musician that's from Wichita who's achieved an amazing career. He's going to be on one of our panels. We have Jim Weatherson, who is originally from Wichita, who has done amazing things within the music industry, worked for Big Machine Records, was GM of Disney Records. He's going to come in and he's going to do one-on-one meetings with local artists and industry workers if they want to participate. We have until June 14th for people to sign up and have one-on-one meetings with a multitude of industry folks who have just extensive knowledge and are so excited to give back and share with the community.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is a step one, right? Like, people don't know what they don't know, and there's a lot that I don't know. But when you talk to somebody like Jim or Gooding, talk to Gooding about licensing and publishing, and like he can dive so deep into all of the elements within that world that like he's made a career off of, right? Like Gooding isn't selling out arenas, but he's making a good living off of licensing and publishing. People don't know what that even means. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks. And so like, if you want to educate yourself and like truly be a professional musician and like make a living off of your craft, there's going to be people here that are going to help give you that information that has been kept from you for so long, to do that. But again, you got to show up and you got to be ready to work, because like Gooding didn't just get that. It wasn't handed to him. Like he struggled for decades and hustled his ass off to get where he got. So like, that's what's exciting, is that there's going to be people here that can share that knowledge,
So 3 things for me.
Yeah.
First point, I think it's cool because like for some of these local musicians, this will likely be the biggest festival they've ever played at, which is a very cool thing. Second point, something you mentioned earlier, Jesse, is that the price of the ticket. I find it interesting, the mindset some people have in Wichita, where they're paying $10 to get in like Asian Festival, $15 to get in Taco Fest, whatever the price is. Like nobody's becoming millionaires off of these events. And if you took into account the amount of time it takes to put on an event, divide that out, take out the profits, like it's not even worth it. Like you can find a better job doing something else.
Yeah.
Nope.
And so stop being cheap, people. Number 3, Wichita is very a traditional city. They like what's old. So having something new sometimes might be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't latch on to things till year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
So how do you get people to embrace this? Like, what's the challenges, and how do you overcome that hurdle?
Maintaining patience.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest ones, because you're exactly right. It's going in with the knowledge that this is going to be a slow build, understanding our market's reluctance, like you said, embrace new ideas, but also having the patience to know that we'll just keep doing the good work. We'll keep on doing great things for our community, and I know it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Persistence, consistency, and love.
Love.
In everything we do.
And that's the root of everything. Not just because you're around, Rudy. You're always loved.
Yeah.
But no, it is everything we do with Metopia, with Elsewhere Fest. It's love is at the core. Building community is the core of everything we do. And community doesn't happen overnight. Community, you can't contrive community. We have to wait for organic growth.
Yeah,
You
it
can't
takes a long time.
Yeah, you can't grow an oak tree in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like the community I've built on my socials, and I've been doing this for 13 years now, and it took me maybe till year 7 or 8 to like actually things to click and be with real substance. So
I think there's people that, or there's mentalities that think that time stands still, and then there's others that know time is passing at a very rapid pace and want to do all they can with the limited time that they have on this planet. And so those two are always in conflict with each other, right? And so with things like this is an opportunity to just do it, and there's going to be folks that think time stands still and they're not going to get it, but eventually the momentum or the strength of the river that's running by them will pull some folks in, and they'll be like, hey, this is awesome.
the goal is to make this an annual thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the plan.
Yeah. So, what has been the most exciting part for y'all about putting this together?
For me, well, there's I can't say most exciting, but one of the things I'm most excited about was I had a dream. I think Martin Luther King. I had a.
Are we still in speeches now?
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I was, we were talking back to, I moved to LA because when I was a kid, none of this was a possibility. This is the type of stuff that I dreamed of. But when I was out in LA, I met a lot of talented people that, had the same mindset, were driven and hungry, and some of them went on to be extremely famous, and they're doing great. And I always thought, man, it'd be cool if I could get them to Wichita. But the time had to be right. We had to have enough funding to be able to pull them in. And this has given me the opportunity to be able to call some of those folks, in particular my buddy D Smoke. I never thought, I dreamed of it, but, me and my bass player, Shardell Berthet, who was his best man at his wedding, were like, man, wouldn't it be amazing if we could bring him to Wichita and put on this show and play for him? And it's a reality now. So for me, the most exciting thing is like also seeing some of these bands that I've been on tour with and played shows with in other markets are actually coming into Wichita. And, we, like you said, Mambo Sauce, King Youngblood, folks that I've shared the stage with that I knew that as soon as they hit Wichita, people would go, wow, what is
so
this?
good.
So
good.
So that's the exciting part for me.
Jessie?
That we can do this. I mentioned earlier, since Adam and I met, we've been putting on shows, and we've been doing it with incredibly little resources. And we've always seen what would benefit our community, but not had the ability to do it. We've not had the ability to activate the talent that our city has, because I'm not ever going to ask anyone to do something for exposure. Unless it's you, Rudy. I actually just did that, but that was a different situation.
I am fully exposed. Okay.
But, I'm never going to ask an artist, visual or musical, to be like, hey, if you did this show, it'd be great. It'd be great exposure, right? Exposure doesn't pay your electric bill. So we've always been doing things on a shoestring budget, and we have had help throughout the years, but Adam and I have had to wear many, many hats in the events that we have produced. And it's an incredible moment for us to be able to do these things with the resources necessary to truly create something amazing, and to do it with help. To not be doing it in a vacuum.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
You just, you flooded my memory with, moments when our electricity was cut off, or our cars got repossessed because we couldn't pay it, or we lived without water, because we just,
one of us always had water at that moment.
Yeah, we would tag team who paid bills because we were so invested in making these shows happen, and trying to uplift what we were doing, and it never was about money.
We're being the ones who, I remember one show we didn't have enough staff to move barricades, so I busted my toe. I was running the show. I busted my toe open in the middle of it
in a lightning storm. In a lightning storm too.
Yeah, we've done
crazy.
all of the jobs. I picked up cigarette butts after a show, and I'm really grateful I had those moments. But it's nice to know that I can focus on organizing and really, making sure we have a phenomenal event, as opposed to organizing, but also making sure that the toilets are clean, and also making sure the barricade's in the right place, and also making sure.
Yeah. I think the thing I'm most excited about with the festival and really everything we're doing is just finding kindred spirits locally and nationally that have that mentality or have that, that trauma bond of hey, I've lived without electricity too, or I've been struggling for 20 years
over
too.
Here yep. Yep.
You know?
Check that out. That's me. Yep.
But like I
Like
said,
folks who never gave up, who were out here just
Yeah.
working and never gave up, and you know, and kept their chin up, stayed positive, looked how they could help build a community versus tearing it down, and never got so burnt out on it that they felt like they needed to tear it down. Like
Even
that's
if they,
but that's building community. Like I said, that's building community. Like we have people out there right now, not only locally, but we have people who live all across this country who are now advocating for Wichita's music scene. Like our legal counsel lives in Des Moines. She's at a conference in New Orleans this week, making sure that Elsewhere is going to be as amazing as it could be.
Oh yeah, I mean, like all the Midtopia artists and a ton of Wichita artists their music is being played in the background of that conference all week because of Midtopia's presence, even with our absence, because we had to be here to make sure the festival came out of ground. But yeah, I mean, that's what I love about it, and we get now to bring a lot of those folks to Wichita to experience how awesome it is to see what our local scene's actually like, to meet all of the beautiful people that we hold so dear in our hearts throughout the community, and to really start that relationship, right? To like really start that relationship with people from around the country, that also have that mindset of how do we create alternative paths. Nobody coming has a mindset of how am I going to come and exploit? How am I going to come and extract from Wichita? They're all like, how can we come and build? And that's what's so exciting is really looking at this as a building block to build on the foundation that's been laid by so many people throughout the decades, right? There's a strong foundation here, and it's really exciting to like continue to build upon that and do it in a way that is involving even more people.
Yeah, we've had a foundation for decades. But yeah, now we got to build some stories on that foundation.
So one thing I appreciate, and I hope the city can appreciate, is that this event is getting started by people who have paid their dues and worked their asses off for essentially a lifetime to make this happen. There's a lot of credibility. There's a lot of authenticity behind it. To come together, you guys have been through it all, seen it all. I feel like it's a lyric in a Biggie song, actually. But,
that's why he's so dope,
yeah.
man. He's
Yeah,
the
right.
truth.
But,
like how many folks have we quoted? I think I had a Nas quote in there at one point.
I'm being boring and quoting Abe Lincoln. I need to step my game up now.
Foundation, right? We got to have a foundation.
Yeah.
So, kind of like closing things up in a way, how can people find all the information? You already said elsewherefest.com.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Can people get involved anyway? Just by
Definitely.
and how's that?
There are a lot of submission forms. I would encourage any artist that's interested in playing the festival. There's an Elsewhere submission form. There's also a Midtopia artist submission form. There are tons of positions that will be opening in the future, in the distant future, but also in the near future. There's opportunities to engage with us in the mixers and the Midtopia meets that we have, the live events at Wave once or twice a month, where you can come and meet folks that are working at Midtopia or working with Midtopia. There's going to be a lot of showcases, a lot of performances. There's any young folks that are interested in getting into even the unconventional parts of music. If you want to be a sound engineer, if you want to be a manager, if you want to be a promoter, a publicist, there's so many opportunities. And don't wait on us. Seek us out because it's there. You know?
Yeah. What quote Tupac? We ain't hard to find. You know. I mean, we're out here, but that's it. Show up again.
Yeah.
Like reach out, have conversations, be there, show up, and be a part of it. You
And
know?
also in the short term, buy tickets.
Yeah, come out.
Buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Come out to the conference. It's only $25 for 2 days.
Yeah.
That encompasses both days. There's going to be such a wealth of knowledge shared. But yeah, buy a ticket. Come out.
I'm
See
thinking
what we're
about
all about.
when I was 18 or 19, and this was back when everything was much cheaper.
Yeah.
$25 to get this type of information, I would have jumped on it so fast.
So fast in your city.
Yeah,
Like
right there.
You didn't have to travel.
Don't gotta go nowhere.
Can you imagine?
So it's basically like, what's the saying? Like, you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And so just show up
Show
get
up.
there.
You get what you give.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's
That
it.
one.
You get
And-
what you give.
And in the end, the love you give is equal to the love you make.
Yep.
One last thing I want to forget about them, the visual artists. We didn't really talk about that.
Mm.
Yes.
Where can we find them? Where will they be at?
They are going to be all across the footprint of the festival. We are very excited to. We've partnered with Harvester Arts, and they've done just amazing work. We have murals going up. We're going to have projection lighting. We're going to have some immersive elements. There might be some dinosaurs that show up.
Real dinosaurs. y'all.
Dinosaurs as an old artist or real like actual
It's an ode to the industry dinosaurs that have built that foundation of
Yeah.
exploitation that we're trying to tear down.
But
And
these
so,
are cute.
So at the end, do we
Yeah.
destroy the dinosaurs?
like Jurassic Park.
They're
No, we
actually
just-
large pinatas.
Yeah,
They're
right.
just- no, I'm playing. That's terrible. No,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say though, man, yeah, it'd be really cool if next year we can fit it into the budget to get some dino DNA and make some actual dinosaurs.
I'm
man.
in. Let's do it.
Jurassic
I've-
Park.
I've
We're
seen
gonna have
the
so much
movie.
more time to plan
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
year.
I've seen the movie. Does not end
It's
well.
never good.
They
It's
didn't
never
get
good.
the right
Yeah.
species.
Well, we just
Yeah.
we just can only do like the brontosaurus,
Okay.
not the velociraptors.
No velociraptors. No T-Rexes.
No T-Rexes.
No, we're
Nah,
just
you
going with the
gotta-
herbivores.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be cool.
We don't have enough trees, man. Listen, if I can go into my conspiracy, like they had that island open for like 10 years.
What if?
How did those dinosaurs get that big without eating all of the
That's
leaves?
true.
and
That wasn't a
everything,
big
man?
island.
Yeah, yeah.
What if we got dwarf brontosaurus?
That'd be cool. And then we
Little-
could.
And then we could just get
tiny-
ferns. Yeah, like a dwarf horse, but dwarf brontosaurus. And then we just get fern plants, or not palm plants, like the
Yeah.
palm plants.
I think dwarf
Is it-
brontosaurus should be the name of the punk rock polka band. 'Cause
That's
those
your
would
next
be
project, Rudy.
Dwarf
I'm
brontosaurus.
saving, I'm
Yeah.
saving myself for the boy band.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, then we'll keep workshopping it. We'll
Yeah,
keep
yeah, yeah, yeah.
brainstorming. Then. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank y'all for hopping on the podcast. It's really cool. For everyone else, make sure you check out Elsewhere Fest. The website's elsewherefest.com. Takes place June 21st and 22nd. All pretty much around the downtown area.
Yeah.
Um,
On the visual arts, we want to give a huge shout out to Harvester Arts and
Yeah.
Kristen Beal and Amy and Mina and all the awesome people over there.
Aaron.
Aaron.
They do some awesome events around town. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Exploration Place area and
they're
Yeah.
managing all the visual arts for Elsewhere Fest, and they're just amazing humans, brilliant people, and people that also have been putting in work for decades to do cool stuff in the city. So
And
we're stoked.
Thank you, man, because
Yeah.
what you do for Wichita is truly something else, man. And thank you for giving us a platform to be able to speak about this, because I mean, it means a lot, really.
well,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I don't take compliments well, but I definitely do appreciate it.
That
And,
means you're a hard worker.
Well, once again, thanks for all this. Best of luck during the event. I'm sure it's going to be crazy hectic, but once it's over on the 23rd, you guys will find a lot of value, and we'll all be appreciative.
We're gonna sleep, maybe.
Not on the 23rd.
Nah.
Maybe on the 3rd.
Maybe in July.
Yeah.
We'll save
Yeah,
something for
it's
July.
July.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
everybody, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome.